She was the most beautiful bride in the village, but on the happiest day of her life, a dark secret, hidden in her soul, threatened to kill the man she loved. This is the bride who hid a deadly secret until her wedding night. Join me as we dive into the full story. In a quiet village, surrounded by tall palm trees, lived a young woman named Amara. She was the most beautiful maiden in the land, with her eyes that sparkled like morning dew, and skin as smooth and as fresh like palm oil. Men from far and near came asking for her hand in marriage. But Amara always smiled gently and refused them all. She told everyone she was waiting for the man chosen by her heart. What no one knew was that behind her beauty was a secret so dangerous it could destroy anyone who came too close. One hot afternoon, a stranger walked into the village. His name was Ethan, a tall, strong young man who had traveled from faraway lands. He had come seeking peace and a new beginning after losing his parents. The moment Ethan saw Amara at the market, carrying a basket of yams on her head, his heart skipped a beat. And when Amara's eyes met his, she felt a strange pull she had never felt before. The villagers whispered that perhaps fate had finally brought her the man she was waiting for. Amara had a secret hidden deep inside her. Since childhood, a dark spirit had lived in her, a curse placed on her family by an old sorcerer. Every full moon, the spirit demanded blood, and Amara had grown used to sneaking into the forest at night to satisfy it with the life of small animals. No one knew of this curse, not even her parents. To the village, she was the perfect maiden. But in her heart, Amara feared that one day the spirit would ask for more than just animals, it would ask for a human soul. Ethan began to visit Amara's family often, helping her father on the farm and bringing gifts to her mother. His kindness won the hearts of everyone in the household. Slowly, Amara too began to let her guard down and smile more around him. Every evening, they would walk together by the river, laughing, sharing dreams, and watching the sunset. For the first time, Amara felt that maybe love could be stronger than the curse she carried. But deep down, she trembled each night the full moon rose. One bright morning, Ethan came to Amara's family with palm wine and elders. He knelt before her father and asked for her hand in marriage. The villagers rejoiced, drums were beaten, and everyone celebrated. Amara forced a smile, but her heart was heavy. She wanted to marry Ethan more than anything, yet she knew the spirit inside her would never allow it without a price. Still, she whispered to herself, maybe love will break the curse. That night, as Amara lay on her mat, she heard the chilling voice of the spirit. "You dare to give your heart to a man," it hissed inside her head. "On your wedding night, he must be mine. Only his blood will seal our bond forever." Amara sat up, shaking with fear. She wept silently, begging the spirit to spare Ethan, but the voice only laughed, echoing like thunder inside her soul. She knew then that her wedding would not be a night of joy, but a night of horror. The village grew busy with wedding preparations. Women wove colorful wrappers, men built canopies, and the air was filled with songs and drumming. Amara's mother braided her hair with cowries, while her friends teased her with laughter. But Amara felt trapped. Each day that brought her closer to the wedding also brought her closer to Ethan's doom. She wanted to tell him the truth, but fear gripped her. Would he still love her if he knew she carried a deadly spirit? One evening, an old village priest visited Amara's father's home. He pulled Amara aside and whispered, "Child, I see darkness around you. Beware of the night after your wedding, for it may bring death." Amara's eyes widened, but she stayed silent. The priest urged her to come for cleansing, but she shook her head. Deep inside, she wondered, was it already too late to fight the spirit's power? At last, the wedding day came. The village was filled with music, dancing, and laughter. Amara looked radiant in her beaded attire, and Ethan could not stop smiling at his bride. Everyone blessed their union, praising them as the perfect couple. But only Amara's trembling hands told the truth, that she was walking into a night she wished would never come. When the sun set and the villagers left, Amara and Ethan entered their new home. Ethan held her hand tenderly, speaking of the future they would build together. Amara tried to smile, but her heart pounded with dread. As the moon rose, the spirit's voice returned, sharper than ever. Now, Amara. Tonight, his blood is mine. Amara staggered, clutching her head as her body shook violently. Ethan rushed to her side, not knowing what monster lay inside his beloved bride. Tears streamed down Amara's face as she pushed Ethan away. I cannot do this anymore, she cried. There is a spirit in me, it wants your life tonight. Ethan froze, staring at her in shock, not knowing whether to believe her or not. Amara fell to her knees, begging him to run, to save himself before it was too late. But Ethan, instead of running, lifted her up gently and whispered, if we must face this spirit, we will face it together. The spirit roared inside Amara, her eyes glowing red as her body twisted unnaturally. Ethan held her tightly, refusing to let go, even as her hands tried to strangle him. With all his strength, Ethan cried out to the heavens, calling on God and the ancestors to break the curse. His voice filled the room, and for a moment, Amara's true self fought against the spirit, struggling to be free. At that very moment, the old priest, guided by a vision, rushed into their home with sacred herbs and a pot of fire. He chanted powerful incantations, shaking his staff at the spirit. The spirit screamed through Amara, thrashing wildly, refusing to leave. But the priest's chants grew stronger, and Ethan's prayers joined them like a mighty wind. Amara collapsed to the floor, gasping, as a dark shadow rose from her body. The shadow howled one last time before bursting into flames and vanishing into the night. Amara lay trembling in Ethan's arms, tears of relief streaming down her face. For the first time in her life, she felt truly free. The priest wiped his brow and smiled. Love has saved you, child. The curse is broken forever. Ethan held Amara close, whispering that nothing could ever tear them apart again. The next morning, the village rejoiced when they heard the story. Amara and Ethan were celebrated not only as husband and wife but as the couple who defeated darkness with love. From that day on, Amara lived in peace, no longer hiding secrets or fearing the moon. Her story became a folktale passed from generation to generation, a reminder that love and courage could conquer even the deadliest of secrets. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos.